Now I've ended up with 4 different distributions I'd like to use for the large scale ecosystem. And what we can do is take these layers I've set up that are not ecosystems yet, but just have the bump set to our distribution, and right now the alpha with a constant number of 1 just to make it uh, completely hidden from the render. What we can do is just close out the material editor, and I'm just going to minimize the camera for now. And if we go to our second tab, Materials, what we can see is our landscape material and all of our different layers. So now what we can do is select our individual layers, right mouse click on them, and save them out. And I've already saved them out as 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if we want to save out the entire material and just load that in, we can select the entire landscape material and save it. And I'm going to call this C001. So now we can see that showing up as the new name. And I'm also going to save the scene. And since we already have all of our other variations, I'm going to create a new extension just in case we want to come back to our material setup. Even though we all have it all saved out, it's still a good idea to have that there. I'm not going to compress the file, and I'm going to click Save. So now we can open up what I have as landscape C006. And I'm going to just add the extension 7, or change it from a 6 to a 7, so that you can get the starting point when loading in number 6. And from here on, the changes I make will go into 7 until I make the next save. So now we have the zone landscape, but what we can do is load in either the entire material we just created, or we could add in the layers individually. Well, I'm just going to load in the entire material, C001, well, with an extra 0 in there. And now we can go into our landscape, and we are going to edit the material. And now we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to keep the material name the same right now because we are in a separate scene. So we don't really need to worry about any conflicts. If we do want to save this out, modify it, and load it back into the other scene, then you might want to change the names. But for now, it should be fine. Switching these to ecosystem layers is going to be pretty easy. What we can do is select our layer. We're going to start with ecopop underscore 0001. And up at the top where we have simple material, I'm going to change that to ecosystem. Now what that's going to do is copy over the environment settings from the previous layer. So all those environment settings will get saved and automatically transferred to our ecosystem. We are going to go back to the material layer, select our bump, right mouse click, copy the function, and now in the ecosystem layer, turn on variable density, right mouse click, and paste the function. And now we can do that for all of our layers, and when we're done, we can just delete the material layer and just keep our ecosystem layer. So I'm going to do that to the other 3 that we have. So now we have all 4 ecosystem layers ready to go. So what I'm going to do is rename the main landscape. And since we were working scene 7, I'm going to change that to landscape C7 and go ahead and save out the scene. And now I'm going to turn off our standard terrain preview.